the wake on June 29th that we referred to, or counsel referred to yesterday, you hear about this awful murder. It was a terrible experience. You flew out. You were comforting Monica. You testified yesterday that when you got there, she was holding this sweater, and there was a hole in it, some version of that. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, now, and you also testified that she stayed, your statement was she stayed with that sweater until the wake. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, did she then let go of the sweater when Rob Baker arrived at the wake?
Objection, argumentative.
So ruled.
She didn't have it the night of the wake,
Well, she
but
stayed
all the
with
days leading up to the wake.
Okay, so she stayed with the sweater until the wake.
Yes.
When Rob Baker was there, was she holding the sweater then?
No, she wasn't holding the sweater when anyone came that night.
Now, you thought when Rob Baker got there that it was, you noticed him. It was weird, right?
I noticed him. It was weird.
And why was it weird to you?
Because I knew him as a racquetball coach when I met him, and I thought it was weird that a racquetball coach would be hugging her and consoling her like that.
And it became a thing where everyone was talking about it. Well, when I say everyone, Morella was talking about it, Deborah was talking about it, your mom was upset, everyone that you were close to was upset about this guy, Rob Baker, being there.
I remember Deborah being very upset, coming in and saying, I don't like that guy, telling my mom, I don't like that guy, he shouldn't be here, what's he doing here? And she kind of riled up everybody, including myself and Morella.
Okay, so Deborah riled up everybody.
Yes.
Your mom, though, was upset that he was there.
After Deborah spoke to her, yes.
And your mom had met him before.
Yes.
At a lunch.
A lunch or a dinner, an afternoon.
And your mom was so upset that she told me.
I never heard that, and that is very unlike my mother.
Right. It's unlike her. She wouldn't say that unless she's very upset, right?
Objection, argumentative.
Sustained.
She would never say that. Oh.
So after Rob was directed to leave then, you guys talked about how strange that was Rob was there, right?
Who's we?
You, Monica, Morella, Deborah.
Me, Deborah, and Morella talked about it.
And did you ask Monica about it?
No,
Why not?
I just didn't.
Well, it was suspicious. It was strange. You saw them whispering. You never asked your sister, like, hey, what's going on?
No, I told her, okay, everybody's outside. Come make your way outside. And she did. She followed me. She sat on the couch.
Did she tell you?
Couch.
I'm sorry. Did she tell you that night that's the man that I've been having an affair with?
No.
Okay, so that night then a neighbor came over and brought a DVD. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And that DVD was of I think the term was the robbers. Is that right?
The DVD was, yes.
Well,
I don't know what term he used to describe it to me. He said, this is the surveillance. You can see two people on it. He might have said these are the robbers. I don't remember his exact words.
Okay. And this DVD then, the neighbor came over and said they had a copy of a DVD showing two people jogging up the street, right?
Yes.
And you knew that it's believed to be the two men that broke in the house and killed your brother-in-law.
I didn't know it was two men. I knew it was burglars. That's what I was told. Burglars.
Eventually you watched it.
Yes, we watched it.
So at the first point you didn't know, but you knew it included possibly the people who killed your brother-in-law.
Yes.
So what did you do with the DVD?
I gave it to my mom, and I told her, put this away and we'll watch it tomorrow.
You didn't want to watch it right away?
No.
And then...
It was the night of the wake. We had people there. That's why we did it.
I understand. Did you tell Monica that you had it?
I told her the next day.
But you understand that the police already had this, right?
Yes, the neighbor told me that.
Okay, so this was just an extra copy for you to look at.
Correct.
And then the next day, did you tell Monica, hey, we have the video that shows the two people possibly that broke into the house and killed Fabio?
I believe what I did was I gave it to her nephews, Anthony and Daniel, and I asked them to view it while my sister and I believe Marco or Ernie, somebody, we went to go pick up the Porsche from Impound.
So you gave it to somebody else to view.
Yes.
Okay. And at some point, Monica came home and you told her that you had this video from the neighbor, and this is the next day, so we're talking about January 30th at this point. You told her that you had this video for her to view.
I had this video and I gave it to the boys to watch, and if she wanted to see it.
And was she upset with you?
She was upset that I didn't tell her right away, that I didn't show her right away.
Did she view it?
Yes.
And after she viewed it, did she come out and say, oh my gosh, I recognize that guy running up the street because I've been having an affair with him for the last year, and I can recognize his body type and how he moves?
It's overruled.
Did she tell you that?
No, absolutely not.
Did she say anything about
No.
recognizing the man that she'd been involved with for over a year on video?
No.
February 2nd through 4th, then, you flew back to Canada for the funeral. Did Monica go with you?
Yes.
And you said that Monica stayed at her mom's house, right?
Correct.
All right. And that's in Woodbridge?
Yes.
All right. Is that where she always stayed?
Yes.
Oh, and by the way, one last question. The night of the wake, did Monica tell you that when Rob Baker was there, he gave her a burner phone?
No.
Do you know what a burner phone is?
I watch TV, so yes.
Okay. She never said anything about getting a burner phone that night.
No.
All right. February 2nd through 4th, then, when you flew back, that was the viewing at the funeral home for Fabio, and then eventually his cremation. Is that correct?
Yes.
So on Friday and Saturday, which is February 3rd and 4th, there was a viewing at a funeral home. Did you guys all go to that?
Yes.
And then Sunday the 6th was the mass, a reception, and a cremation. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. So if you could just describe Monica's demeanor during this time, does she appear that she's affected at all by this?
Of course, she was very sad and devastated, quiet. At times I had to lead her. She wanted me to sit beside her. She wanted to there were so many people coming those 3 days. Fabio was a very popular person. A lot of people came, and she cried. She laughed with some people when they told her stories about Fab, memories, just like Morella did, just like I did. She was heartbroken.
And then I believe it was, you mentioned, you wrote out a statement trying to memorialize your memories from that day, right, at some point, and gave it to the defense attorneys?
My handwritten.
Yes.
Yes.
When did you write that, by the way?
Oh, I was still at that house on Queen Victoria, so I was still in Monica's house. So it must have been before we sold it, which was in February of 2018. So maybe January, maybe December 2017.
January of 2017?
Or after.
Sorry.
Yeah, 18.
2018.
Yes, sorry.
Okay. You wrote out the best that you could remember memories from the day of the murder, the day after
I was
the
not
murder.
told to write memories.
I'm sorry?
I was not told to write memories.
Well, what did you write?
I was told to write down an account of what happened that day, like who was there, what did you do, where did you go, and that's what I did.
And the defense told you to do that?
Yes.
Okay. So on February, that funeral in Canada, February 3rd, 4th, 5th, then you wrote down that Monica was feeling ill and emotional, and so you took her home early. Do you remember taking her home early?
Yes, from the reception.
From the reception. She was drained physically, she was emotionally drained and physically exhausted.
Correct.
Is that fair? Okay.
Yes.
And you stayed with her until your parents got home because you were worried about her.
Yes.
Did you know that those 3 days, February 3rd, 4th, and 6th, that she was sending explicit, graphic sexually explicit photos of herself naked to her boyfriend?
No, obviously I did not know.
And did you know that she was sending them from your parents' house?
I had no idea.
If I may approach to show some photos. This is February 3rd.
Of course. Again, Councilman, you do not need permission.
February 3rd, if you want to take a look at those.
Do I look or wait? I don't need to see these.
Okay, so February 3rd, these are graphically explicit naked photos, and that's the day of Fabio's viewing, right?
I didn't see the date.
Well-
Tell me.
February 3rd is the viewing, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. Is that your mom's bed then in that one photo that she's laying on naked and the photo that she sent?
It looks like.
That's your mom's bed?
I'm not sure whose bed that is.
Okay, well, that's in your mom's house with the dresser right there.
Can I see the dresser? Yes, that is, I recognize the dresser. It's in my mom's house.
Okay.
It's not my mom's bed.
And then on Saturday, again, the viewing. You want to take a look at those photographs? Okay, so that's pictures of her vagina.
Your Honor, may we approach?
Okay, so again, February 4th, the viewing on Saturday, these pictures you reviewed it. Again, it's a picture of the defendant's vagina, blocked out, of course. A picture of her laying, showing her breasts. That's her wedding ring. You recognize your sister's wedding ring, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then a picture of her finger in her vagina, blocked out, right? Right? That's what you just saw.
Yes, that's what I saw.
Did you know that was again at your parents' house?
No, of course not. I didn't know any of this.
Okay. Then February 5th was the mass and the reception and Fabio's cremation. You want to take a look at those photos?
Do I have to?
Yeah, you do. You recognize those photos?
Your Honor, again, I would object. The witness has already testified she was not aware of any
I've already
photos.
ruled on this, Counsel.
Thank you.
So you recognize that as the naked photo in the bathroom showing her vagina and her bare breasts. Is that your parents' bathroom?
Yes.
Okay. And then there's a photograph of her standing, taking a picture of her backside, naked in a mirror. Is that your parents' bathroom?
Yes.
Another photo in the shower, naked, showing her vagina and her breasts. Is that your parents' bathroom as well?
Yes.
And then there's a photo, naked breasts, pulling her pants down, showing her vagina. Do you recognize that room as your parents' house?
It looks like it, yes.
All right. And then lastly, laying on another bed with some sheets with blue flowers, showing her breasts and her pants pulled down. Is that your parents' house?
I don't recognize the sheets, Lauren, and there's not enough in the background for me to confirm.
All right. And again, that Sunday was the day that Fabio, there was a mass with a lot of people there, and she was distraught and crying and very upset, right?
Yeah, she was.
And that was actually the day that her husband was cremated.
Yes.
Okay. Now, after, while she's in Canada, February 2nd through 4th, 2nd through 4th, that time frame, did she ever tell you then that she was having and had been having an affair with Robert Baker?
She,
Asked and answered, please.
Not by this prosecutor, it's overruled.
I answer. She never told me, ever.
So February 8th then, Monica flew home. She left Canada and she flew home. It was her anniversary with Fabio. You knew that, right?
Yes.
Did you know, and in your letter that you wrote, memorializing, you said that she left with the girls to go back home because she wanted to be alone with Fabio's things. She wanted time, right?
Yes.
She wanted time to grieve alone with the girls.
Correct.
Did you know that when she landed, she immediately went out with Baker, but didn't go home to grieve with her girls?
I did not know.
Did you know that her girls were texting her, asking her late at night when she was coming home?
I did not know.
Okay. Then you were worried about her, so on February 9th, which was the very next day after her anniversary, after she'd been out with Baker, you flew to Los Angeles because you were worried about her, right?
Yes.
And I think you wrote also again that you were worried that she was too depressed.
Yes.
So you got to LA on February 9th, and then 3 days later on the 12th, you went to dinner with Monica and the girls at Fabio's best friend's house, Ernie Valerano. Is that right?
I don't know if it was 3 days later, but yes, we did go to Ernie's house for dinner with the girls.
Within a few days, not holding you to the date, you went to Ernie's house for dinner.
Correct.
Did
Correct.
you ride there with Monica?
Yes.
Okay, so you went with Monica. Did the girls meet there?
Yes.
Now, after dinner, did Monica tell you that she was going out with her friend Sheila?
Yes.
And you told her you wanted to go with her.
Yes. I said, why can't I come?
She wouldn't let you go, right?
She said, I wanted to be with my friends.
Did you know that she was actually meeting Robert Baker?
No.
Did you know that she stayed out until 12:59 a.m. with Robert Baker?
I knew she came home around 1.
And you were texting her, asking her about when she was going to come home, right?
I think I did.
Oops. What I already marked as People's 272. Okay, this is on 272. She texted you at 10:11 at night and said, "I'm 5 minutes from Ernie's karaoke." That's after she left Ernie's, right?
Yes.
So she went out and texted you, and this is after she told you you couldn't go.
Correct.
Now, when she told you you couldn't go, she left in her car, and you had to get a ride home with the girls, right?
Correct.
So you took the girls home.
Yes.
And then that same, turning into the early morning hours, you're asking her at 12:59, which is almost 1 in the morning, you on your way home.
Yes.
Were you worried where she was?
I was wondering why it was taking so long.
And she told you she was out with Sheila, right?
That's what she told me, yes.